Hello, welcome to another episode of North Dreamer. In this video, we will share our real experience as beginners on the Tour du Mont Blanc, giving tips about sun protection, staying hydrated with spring water, avoiding food problems, what to expect at campsites and refuge, and how to handle unexpected challenges so you can be better prepared for your own venture. Our flight was delayed and we missed our bus to Chamonix, so we had to change our plans. We booked a hotel in Gervais Bains for a night. This place is a good option for anyone who arrives late or needs an extra day to get ready. It has shops and restaurants where you can pick up supplies before starting the trail. We also took the time to review the trail plan, check campsite options, and plan our early start for the next day. For beginners like us, having a relaxing preparation day like this can make the first hiking day much easier. We start early in the morning, and from Gervais-les-Bains, we took the train to Les Houches, which take about 25 minutes and cost around €5. Trains run roughly every hour, so it's easy to fit into your schedule. Once in Les Houches, many hikers take the Bellevue cable car to save time and energy. The ride goes from Les Houches Bellevue station up to the Bellevue at 1,800 meters. It takes only 5 minutes. One-way tickets cost around €18. If you don't take the cable car, you can hike the trail from the village. It's longer, about 7 km extra, with 1,000 meters of elevation gain, and it usually takes around 2.5 or 3 hours, depending on your pace. For this trip, we choose to do the TMB, staying at the campsites. On the first day, our goal was to reach the camping Le Pontent in Les Contamines, which is around 20 kilometers. Even on the first day, when the sky might be cloudy, it's very important to protect your skin from the sun. In the mountains, UV rays are stronger, and the weather can change quickly. We did the TMB in early August, when temperature can rise quickly and the sun can be more intensive. Paying attention to the sun protection will make your hike more comfortable and prevent painful sunburns. Always carry a good sunscreen and apply it to all exposed skin. Don't forget areas like ears, neck, and the back of your hands, which are easy to miss. Wear lightweight, long-sleeve shirts and long hiking pants to reduce direct sun exposure. This also helps protect against scratches from bushes and insects. A hat and UV protection sunglasses are essential. They protect your face, eyes, and scalp from strong sunlight. Start your day early in the morning. Walking in the cooler, shaded hours not only helps avoid the hottest part of the day, but also make the hike more enjoyable. Even if you start in the shade or under clouds, reapply sunscreen regularly, especially after sweating. Keep in mind that at higher altitude, the sun will feel more stronger. I want to share all these tips that I didn't really know at the beginning, so that you can be more comfortable, stay safe, and enjoy the amazing view without worrying about sunburn or getting too exhausted. As we mentioned, on the first day we hiked all the way to Les Contamines, where we stayed at Camping Le Pontent. The campsite is about a 20 minutes walk from the center, so it's quite close. The cost was around €20 for 2 people and 1 tent, which is a good deal for all the facilities they offer. What is nice is that you don't need to book ahead. They have a separate space just for the small tents. Perfect for hikers that are doing TMB. The campsite has everything you need: toilets, showers, a dishwashing area, and a laundry spot. There's also a small restaurant where you can grab a meal if you are too tired or to cook after a long day. But if you do carry your own cooking gear, I recommend stopping early in the day at the supermarket in Les Contamines Center to stock up on food or some ready meals. That way you can prepare something at the campsite. One small downside in this campsite is charging your devices. They don't have many outlets, so it's hard to find a free spot. My tip would be not to rely on this campsite for charging. Better to have a full power bank with you. So that was the end of our first day on the Tour du Mont Blanc. We covered close to 20 kilometers with plenty of up and downs, and we finished at Camping Le Pontet near Les Contamines. The campsite was simple but had everything we needed. The first day already gave us a taste of how beautiful and challenging this trail can be. It also shows us how important small details are, like carrying enough water, protecting from the sun, and knowing where to camp. Day 2 of the Tour du Mont Blanc starts from the camp in Les Contamines, just outside the Les Contamines. Our goal for today is to reach the Les Chapieux, which means crossing the famous Col du Bon Homme. This stage is considered one of the highlights of the trail, with a steady climb to the top followed by a long descent to the valley. The Col du Bon Homme sits at about 2,329 meters, so the air gets thinner and the temperature can be quite different compared to the valleys. This stage is about 20 kilometers, with around 1,300 meters of ascent and about 900 meters of descent. It's definitely a challenge, but the landscape makes it worth it, from green valleys and mountain streams to wide open views from the col. One of the most useful things you can bring on the Tour du Mont Blanc are trekking poles. On the uphill, especially when the trail gets steepy and rock, the poles help take some of the weight off your legs and spread the effort to your arms and upper body. This makes the climb feel a little easier and save energy for later in the day. It's almost like having 4 legs instead of 2. On the downhill, they are even more important. The descent after Col du Bon Homme is long, and if you don't have your poles, your knees and the ankles will feel it very quickly. With poles, you have more stability and you can control your step much better. For us, they made the difference between walking comfortably and just surviving the downhill. If you are new to hiking, you don't need an expensive pair. Even simple, lightweight poles will do the job. What matters most is that they are adjustable, so you can set them shorter for the uphill and longer for the downhill. Looking back, if we didn't have trekking poles on this stage, the day would have been a lot harder. That's why I really recommend them for anyone thinking about doing the TMB, especially if it's your first big trek. They save your energy and protect your joints. I want to share some other tips for the day 2 that really helped us as beginners. On this stage, there are fewer springs and fountains compared to day 1, especially on the climb to Col du Bon Homme. We carried about 1.5 liters, which was just right. It's important not to wait until you are thirsty. Take small sips regularly to stay hydrated. Food is also important. There are no shops or villages between Les Contamines and Les Chapieux, so pack enough lunch and snacks for the day. We had a small picnic at the pool, which was of the best moment of the day. Weather can change fast at higher altitudes. Even in the summer, the wind on the col can feel very cold, and clouds can appear suddenly. Always carry an extra layer and a lightweight rain jacket, even if the day starts sunny. And now about pacing. This stage is long with lots of climbing and descending, so don't rush. Take short breaks, eat small snacks along the way, and keep a steady pace. Start early in the morning helps you take advantage of cooler temperatures and more shaded parts of the trail. At the end of the day 2, we will stay at the bivouac area in Les Chapieux. This spot is great for beginners because it has basic facilities and is very welcoming for hikers. There are toilets, and if you want, you can take a shower at the nearby refugio for €5 per person. If you want to support the area, you can also contribute a small fee of €5 at the information office. The bivouac has space for tents, but it's a good idea to arrive a bit earlier if you want a flat spot. There is a small shop where you can buy supply and food, and they serve fresh cheese and yogurt too. In the morning, they offer fresh croissants, which is a nice treat before starting the next day. There is also a small restaurant at the refugio and at the grocery shop where you can get meals. But if you have your own cooking gear, you can prepare your own food at the bivouac area. It's important to know that the area doesn't have mobile internet signal, so you won't have connection around the bivouac. The only option is the grocery store, where you can get 15 minutes of free access for a small fee. For charging, there are no facilities here. We relied on power banks that we brought from the first day. The village itself is small but very friendly and has a nice atmosphere. It's a great place to rest and recover after a long day of hiking. For beginners, staying at the bivouac like this is a good way to experience the trail without the stress of reservation or crowded facilities. That's all for day 2 on the Tour du Mont Blanc. We covered a full day of hiking and reached the bivouac area in Les Chapieux, where you can rest, enjoy some local food, and prepare for the next stage. Remember the tips about showers, internet and charging so you can plan your day comfortably. Day 3 of the Tour du Mont Blanc takes us from the Les Chapieux to Camping Hobo that is near Courmayeur. Today we'll cross the Col de la Seine, one of the most scenic passes on the trail, offering incredible views of the surrounding mountains. The distance for this section is around 17 to 23 kilometers, with an elevation gain of about 1051 meters and a descent of 626 meters. It's important to pace yourself here. The ascent to Col de la Seine is steady, so take regular breaks, drink plenty of water and have some snacks ready. One key tip for this day is that much of the trail is exposed to the sun, with very few shaded areas. Make sure to apply sunscreen, wear a hat, and use long sleeve if needed. Starting early is also helpful, not only for cooler temperature but also to avoid the strongest sun hours. Trekking poles can be very useful on the ascent, helping reduce fatigue in your legs and knees. After crossing the col, the trail descends toward Camping Hobo. Along the way, you will pass beautiful long space. Take your time and enjoy the scenery. It's one of the most stunning sections of the Tour du Mont Blanc. And don't forget, even if the trail seems long or challenging, go at your own pace. The goal is to enjoy the experience and the incredible views as you cross from the France into Italy. On this day, with a long ascent to Col de la Seine and the strong sun exposure, your feet are under a lot of pressure and heat, which make blister more likely. Wear moisture-wicking hiking socks or even double-layer socks to reduce friction. Make sure your hiking boots are well broken in before the trail. Apply blister prevention tape, toes and sides on your feet before starting. Keep your feet dry, change socks if they get wet, since moisture increases the risk. Take short breaks to air your feet when possible. Treat hot spots immediately with protective pads or tape before they become full blisters. These tips will help keep your feet comfortable and let you enjoy the trail without foot pain that will slow you down. Another very important tip for beginners is using a map or a navigation tool. Even if the TMB is well marked, it's easy to get confused. You can use a paper map, which is reliable and don't need batteries. Or if you prefer digital tools, at the moment I'm using Gaia GPS, is great. Make sure you download the maps offline because mobile signal is very limited in the mountains. Before starting each day, study the route, check the elevation gain and descent, and mark key points like refuge, water source and possibility rest stops. Knowing your route helps you plan breaks and avoid unnecessary detours. Always have a backup plan. If weather turns bad or you feel too tired, knowing the nearest village or refuge can make a huge difference. Camping Hobo was one of the favorite stops on the Tour du Mont Blanc. The campsite charged us around €30 and the facilities was very clean. There are toilets and showers, plus a kitchen area where you can cook your own meals. Laundry and dryers are also available, which is really convenient for multi-day hikes. The campsite has plenty of resting areas where you can relax after a long day on the trail. Charging your devices is easy here, and there are many spots free. There's also a small grocery shop where you can buy fresh fruit, cheese and bread, along with a bar and a restaurant if you want a hot meal. One of the most special things about Camping Hobo is the evening atmosphere. That night, they light a fire and invite everyone to gather around. Even prepared a small movie or presentation for anyone staying overnight. It's a really cozy and friendly atmosphere that makes Camping Hobo stand out among the other stops on the trail. So that's a wrap for day 3. We crossed the Col de la Seine, enjoyed the stunning views, managed the sun exposure, took care of our feet, and keep track of the route with our map. Camping Hobo is our stop for the night, offering a well-organized and comfortable place to rest before the next day. On the Tour du Mont Blanc, planning and preparation make a huge difference in enjoying the trail safely and comfortably. By the end of day 3, we have completed 60 kilometers of TMB so far. We have gained around 4,200 meters in elevation and descended about 3,800 meters. And it's been amazing till now. Day 4 is one of the longest and most challenging days of the whole Tour du Mont Blanc. From Camping Hobo to Camping des Glaciers in Switzerland, the stage is about 30 kilometers long, with more than 1,300 meters of ascent and around 1,400 meters of descent. For beginners, it's good to know that you can split this section in 2 days. Many people stop halfway at a refuge or bivouac, which make the hike much more easier. The day starts with a short bus ride from Hobo to Courmayeur Center, which takes around 20 minutes. From there, the real hike begins. In this stage, you will go through 2 major ascents and descents during the day. The highlight is crossing the Grand Col Ferret, which is the border between Italy and Switzerland. The pass sits at 2,537 meters, making it one of the highest points on the TMB. Standing there, you can see incredible views of the Italian sides behind you and the Swiss valley ahead. Day 4 is one of the longest days of the Tour du Mont Blanc, so food and water planning is more important than ever. Let's start with the food. On some stages, you can rely on refuge or small shop, but this day, once you leave Courmayeur, options are very limited. That means you really need to carry everything you need for the whole day. What worked best for us was doing a small shopping on Courmayeur when we stopped before. There are good supermarkets where you can stock up on cheese, fruits, snack or even ready meals. Something we always try to do was to keep one full meal in reserve just in case. Refuge have fixed time for serving meals, and sometimes you might arrive late or too early. By having your own food, you don't need to depend on their schedule, so you can stop and eat whenever you want. For the trail itself, it's smarter to eat little by little instead of waiting for one big meal. Things like nuts, dried fruits, cereal bars, biscuits, or ready meals like rice, quinoa or lentils worked perfect for us. These are light, don't spoil easily and keep your energy up. You should avoid packing heavy foods. Carrying them for 30 kilometers is extra weight you don't want it. Now about the water. After leaving Courmayeur, there are few refill points until you cross into Switzerland. We also recommend having a water filter or purification tablets. You'll sometimes pass streams where you can refill, but it's safer to filter before drinking. This way you are not stuck relying only on the official fountains, which can be rare on this section. After a very long and demanding day, arriving at the campsite in Fouly really felt like a reward. They charged us 45 Swiss francs and campsite was really good and well organized. They have showers, toilets and even a kitchen area where you can cook. One of the nice things is the large common area where you can sit down and have your dinner. Like most campsites on the TMB, you don't need to make a reservation in advance. There's always space for small tents, so you can just arrive and set up without any stress. They also have a small shop on the side with basic supplies, but it's worth knowing that just before the campsite, in the center of Fouly village, you will find a proper supermarket. That's the best place to stock up on food for the next day. And if you don't feel like cooking, there are also a few restaurants in the village where you can enjoy a proper meal. For us, it was the perfect place to rest after such a long and challenging day. The campsite has everything that we needed. If you are enjoying our TMB adventure, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support really helps us keep sharing tips and experience. Today was one of the longest days on the trail, covering around 30 kilometers with 2 big climb up, and one of them was called the Ferret. The sun was very strong and the trail was very long, but taking breaks, drinking water and keeping snacks with us made it easier. It's important to pace yourself, listen to your body and take your time on step sections. Even if the trail feels challenging, the views make it every step worth it. Reaching the campsite and resting after such a long day felt amazing, and it gave us energy to continue the journey for the next day. For tomorrow, we are planning also to start our hike a bit later than usual. After today's long and intense trek, we want to give ourselves some extra rest in the morning. Enjoy your relaxing breakfast and take our time to getting ready. Day 5 of the Tour du Mont Blanc starts a little differently for us. After yesterday's long hike, we plan to sleep in a bit and begin later than usual. Sometimes on the TMB it's important to listen to your body. This isn't a race, and taking care for yourself makes the experience much more enjoyable. Today we will be walking from Fouly to Champex Lac. The distance is about 15 kilometers with around 420 meters of ascent and about 570 meters of descent. This stage is considered one of the easiest days on the TMB compared to the others. Once we arrived in Champex, we stayed at a campsite that cost us around 50 Swiss francs. To be honest, this was probably the least impressive campsite of the entire tour. The area was very small, not very well organized, and we didn't feel as comfortable as the other campsites that we stayed. Another thing to keep in mind is that the campsite shop doesn't really have much more than snacks like chips, so before heading there, it's a good idea to stop at the supermarket in the village and grab some proper food or supplies. Unfortunately, that night things took an unexpected turn. We ended up with food poison and we were sick the whole night. The next morning, we had urgently planned to continue with 2 more days until we reached the Chamonix, but we simply didn't have the energy to go on. At that point, we decided to stop our trek for this year. Even though we didn't make it all the way this time, we learned so much from the experience, and that's something we want to share it. It's okay if things doesn't go exactly as we planned. What matters most is the journey, the moments you enjoy on the trail and the lessons you take with you. The Tour du Mont Blanc isn't just about reaching the finish line, it's about the adventure, the landscape you cross and the memories you create. We will definitely come back strong to finish, and we hope our experience helps you to prepare for your own trek. Also, I will leave a link where you can check our full TMB packing list. Take care and see you next time on North Dreamer.